Hey guys, it's Jessica, and today we're gonna talk March favorites. Holy moly, it's spring. I don't know if I can go all the way around. Okay, I can. Why did that just make me think of The Office? Did they even do, I don't even, okay. Hello, good morning. It's morning where I am right now while I'm filming. So I have a lot of favorites to share with you guys. I actually don't have any duds. I have a few that are, you know what? Let me go look in my regrets and make sure I shouldn't be mentioning some of these. Hold on. Lols, I definitely have some duds. Okay. Who did I think I was to try to be Miss Positivity on this nice spring day when really I have a little negativity to throw your way, but we'll save those towards the end. I gave my nails a break from the powder dip and okay, so to start, I have a skincare product, and this portion of the video is actually sponsored by Maelove, who I've worked with in the past, and I freaking love their products. So I'd originally fallen in love with their Glow Maker antioxidant serum. It's a serum that has like vitamin C, vitamin E, ferulic acid. It is amazing. I use it during the day as one of my very, very first steps, and it helps with sun damage, and I just feel like I'm doing something good for my skin on the innermost layer. That way, when I'm putting moisturizers on and sunscreen on, I'm also protecting my skin, but this is kind of working overtime throughout the day. So that is something I've loved for a long time. I love what this brand is doing because these are $28, which is not anywhere near as expensive as certain brands that I may or may not use from time to time that are like $90 products. So for example, the product I've recently fallen in love with from Maelove is their Pure Marula Oil. Now this is good for your skin. I use it on my face. You can use it to tame flyaways in your hair, but it is ideal for someone with drier skin like myself. It's great at helping to heal dry patches. It deeply hydrates the skin. So I put this on, if I'm using it during the day like I did today, I put it on after my Glow Maker serum. Then I put this on, then I go in with my moisturizer and sunscreen. I know a lot of you guys have asked kind of the order of things, like how am I doing it with sunscreen? I finally found a system that works, and that is what's working for me. And I just feel like in the end, my skin ends up all day looking really, really moisturized. This is cold pressed to retain its integrity. It's 100% organic, pure marula oil. And I'm probably about a third of the way through it already, and you don't need to use a lot, but I just love what this is doing for my skin. So like I mentioned, this is better for dry or normal skin. If you have more combo oily skin, I would recommend using their argan oil. Again, this is 100% organic. It's pure argan oil, cold pressed, again, to retain that integrity of the actual oil. And this, again, you can use it in your hair, you can use it on your skin. So I'm really, really loving them. I have a link below for them if you are interested in giving them a try. Like I said, these are 28 bucks. A lot of these products sell out. So for example, the Glow Maker, I think I mentioned it in the past because I'll randomly bring it up just in Instagram stories, not sponsored. I just love this product so much. And it sells out a lot. So if you're interested in any of these, definitely take advantage of them while they're in stock. Oh, and bonus points because these are sustainably sourced. Thank you. That's what we need in this world. People thinking about the future. So thank you, Maelove, for sponsoring that part of the video. Let's get into the rest of my favorites. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go and order my face. As I always do, I put these on my face today, just as you saw with those serums. So you'll see me actually using every single one of these products in action, except for the ones that I didn't like. I didn't want to use those again. A new favorite primer, and I honestly, I don't know why. I guess I was excited to try it, but it looked like a gel primer, and I was like, I'm not gonna like that. It's not gonna be enough. But it is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Now, this stuff was sent to me in PR, and so I kind of put it on my vanity, and so I randomly tried it one lovely morning, and I was like, what is this stuff? Like, it was so cool. It was like hydrating, but it was sticky. I've never tried a primer like this, so it really blew my mind. So I'm like, let's see. I don't remember what foundation I put on top of it, but it just like stuck to it beautifully, and all day long it wore well, and it even wore well on my nose, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I tried this with probably 4 or 5 other foundations, and it looks beautiful under all of them. I'm like, this is a primer. I feel like I just picked up, hold on. I just feel like I love primers, and I own a lot of different ones for different purposes, but this is kind of a foolproof primer that works under everything. And that's why I was so amazed, because I feel like I've never really found a primer quite like this one that does what it does. So highly recommend. I love the packaging. I love that it's a pump. It's fantastic. I'm probably traveling with this. I'm trying to be very, very selective in my favorites videos. So it's A, it's not too long, but B, so it's really, really meaningful of what I'm loving. So I'm not forcing it. If there's not a favorite foundation this month right now, then I don't want to mention it. Okay, so the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. Wow. Wow, I'm wearing it today and, you know, I'll apply a little bit. Honestly, I could get away with applying a lot less, but I end up kind of rubbing it on the top of my eyes as well, like on my eyelids. I mean, just so I feel like it just evens everything out. It brightens the whole area. Listen, it sinks into fine lines. As I always say, every concealer does if you have lines. That is science. But I do think once you've tapped this in like maybe twice, I want to say twice. So like I'll put it on, kind of let it sit there for a second. I'll tap it in, let it sit for a second and tap it in one more time and then put powder on. It is gorgeous all day long. It doesn't move. And so that is why I've really been enjoying this. I wear the shade 340. It's a little bit light for me and I would like to try maybe one a little bit deeper because I do like my concealer to match my face. And I know a lot of you guys do too. So, but it's amazing. It's got one of those giant doe foot applicators and I was just very impressed with the coverage and with the wear time. So my next favorite is from MustaeV. I think I'm saying that right. I couldn't really find anything online about how to pronounce it. So please enlighten me if you know, but it's their Silky Cotton Loose Powder. Now you guys know I like loose powder, but I'm not like, I don't bake. I don't do, you know what I mean? So I use a very light hand with loose powder. So I've loved my Maybelline Fit Me for a long time, but the one I have, I think I might have the lightest one and it's just not light enough for my under eye. I use it that way sometimes, but this one I have in the shade, I don't even think it's a shade. I think it's just translucent. Like that's just what it is. This is $25, but you can only get it on like camerareadycosmetics.com. And that just makes me think of like college makeup courses and stuff and like like Ben Nye makeup. I love it. But I just saw that it's on Amazon, but I think it's kind of hard to find. Like it said there were like 2 left, so I'll link below whatever I can find. And if you didn't know, I do have like an Amazon storefront where I put links to, I have like little pages on there and it's all organized into folders basically where it's like, these are my favorite beauty items on Amazon, my favorite skincare items, clothing, jewelry and accessories, you know what I mean? House, cooking. So I have that all organized on there and I will add this to that as well if you're curious. But it's a very lightweight, finely milled loose powder, which you can find in pretty much every brand. But there's something about it that I really do feel like it brightens the under eye. Now, it still looks a little bit crepey, period. And you know what? As I've gotten even older, like my Charlotte Tilbury one that you guys know I love for my under eye, that one does too. I'm starting to realize it more and more. So like you can still see a little bit, but I just feel like it does a nice job of brightening. And like, especially if you're not within like 6 inches of me, I do think it looks really nice. So that's something to keep in mind, that you're not alone if you feel like, that's the thing. Instagram and YouTube is a complete sham and a lie because even from here, I feel like my under eye looks really nice and smooth. And so, but then when you see it up close, you're like, oh, Jessica is a normal person and she does have lines and she faces the same problems as me where like I put on concealer and then no matter what I do, it still looks a little bit crepey, but I need to set the powder or else the concealer's just gonna go everywhere. So you're not alone if you feel like, oh man, I'm like, you know, as I get older, it just looks worse and worse under there. That's okay and that is life. Just trust me. Most YouTubers, unless you've had a lot of work done, are facing the same problems. They might not be talking about it, or maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know their lives. But I like this one. Do I think you have to spend $25? No, but I figured it was worth mentioning. I don't hear a lot about this brand, and I really did like this product. Dang, this is a good palette. It's from NARS. It's hard to find. It keeps selling out, so I'm going to find whatever, the best link I can find where it's in stock. It's their Skin Deep Eye Palette. I don't think it's limited edition, which is exciting because they keep coming out with cute palettes, but then they're limited edition, and so it's hard for you guys to find over time, you know? But this one, oh, it's like the ultimate neutral palette. The only thing I wish this had is a like white or like much, much lighter than this matte color so I could use it on the brow bone. Because that's something I have to pull from elsewhere. Today I used this shade here on the lid, and then in the crease I just used that kind of matte taupe shade, and I used that on the lower lash, and that's all I did. But I love all of these shimmers. I love all of the mattes. This deep color right here, I didn't use today, but I've been using a lot to line the eye. In my Wet n Wild video I just put up this past week, I tried a ton of new Wet n Wild products, and one of their palettes I was trying to use a darker color to line the eye, and it just didn't do it. And I mentioned that there are really good shadows out there that you can just like, shoo, and it just swipes the beautiful dark shadow across. This is one of those. It's really, really good. There's not a single dud in this palette. It's beautiful. It's expensive though. This is a $59 palette. Now it's weighty and the packaging is nice. And it's just kind of that classic NARS. Like there's something about that that makes me think of like what I would just like, what I always wanted to try back before I started YouTube. I was like, oh, I just want to own like one NARS product. I really, really like this palette. All right, so this is a weird one, but I think I've mentioned it maybe once or twice on my channel before. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Slim Skinny Mascara. It's like $4 or $5. It's got this teeny tiny wand, and I love using this on the lower lash line. Listen, this does not do anything for the upper lash line, so if you're getting it to use it for both, you will be sorely disappointed. But it is so perfect for just light separation on the lower lash line, just darkening them just enough, but it's a really dry, weird, almost fibery formula. And so it just always deposits the perfect amount. And I love it for that. I've realized over the years, because I do like more voluminous mascara on the upper lash line, it never quite looks great on the lower lash line. It gets clumpy and it's like super obvious from far away. And I'm like, I kind of am more into that, you know, where the lower lash line is, just like light sprinkles of the lashes. I don't want it to be as voluminous. Okay, we have two dogs here, Pinocchio, our beagle, and we have Simba, my parents' pug, and he is the loudest. Hi, Piggly Wiggly, come here. Pinocchio says, I will come here, come. Oh, you jumped all the way up. You're a big boy, Beagle. Say hello, hello, everyone. Oh, buddy boy, I love you. You haven't been on camera in a while. Oh, he says, I need a lot of love because I get stressed out when my cousin Simba is here. So I love that mascara so much. Blush. This is one I recently discovered from Neutrogena. It is their Healthy Skin Blush. I have the shade number 10, Rosy. This is like what I wished the NARS Orgasm Blush looked like, because that blush is gorgeous on so many skin tones. But for me, because I am fairer, fairer. Who is the fairest one? Yeah, so it's fairer. Okay. This is what I wished it looked like, because it's just a little more flattering on my skin. I find that the NARS Orgasm Blush, I can make it work, but it's a little bit more work to make it work because it is darker. So this, if you've always wanted that to work because you like that kind of shimmery, but really pretty peachy pink shade, I think you're gonna really love this. This is like quickly moving up the ranks because I feel like I can apply a ton and it never looks crazy, and that is huge to me. Simba, we're not licking ourselves right now, buddy. This is an oldie but a goodie. This I discovered from my friend Laura long ago. I feel like we'd like traveled together and she had this and I was like, what in the world highlight are you wearing? And she told me it was this, so I like bought it the next week. It's from Pure and it is their Afterglow Illuminating Powder. It's a highlighter that I think if I'd seen on my own and swatched it, I would have been like, nah, I'm good. But it's almost like a powdery highlighter. That makes it sound really bad. But there's something about it that just looks really healthy and nice on the skin. And it definitely still has a glow. But if you only put on like one layer, like I put 2 layers on, if that makes sense. But if you put on one, it's just a really nice wash of a glow. But then 2 can really amp it up. But it still doesn't look like stripey or crazy. And that's why I fell in love with this. It's just, I feel like when the light hits it, it just looks flattering in every single lighting that you could ever be in. So yeah, it's still amazing. And again, I've never heard anyone talk about that product. So thank you, Laura, for teaching me about it. So the lip product I'm wearing today, and I'm gonna apply a little bit more, is from Sephora. I bought this on a whim when I was just walking around. Actually, I was buying more of the Sephora Pro brushes because those things are amazing. It's their Melting Lip Click. And again, I've never heard anyone talk about this, but you have to push up the bottom and it comes up and it's this gorgeous, creamy, glossy color. Oh my gosh, you guys. It is the most comfortable. It's like a tinted balm, but again, it looks so flattering. It makes your lips look so healthy. It feels good. Like I've been dealing with some windburn lips like a week or 2 ago. And when I put this on, I'm like, yes, like it feels good on the lips. It's not plumping or anything like that. It's just nice, and you can it can wear off and it doesn't look weird or anything like that. So it's like the most perfect purse lip product, which I had to go downstairs and grab it out of my purse to even share it because I love it so much. So the shade is also what I love. This is in the shade number 1 Caramel. So I have this weird thing, I don't know how to explain this, where like there are certain names of shades of like gloss and lipstick that make me think of coffee. And it makes me want it. So like when the French Press collection of lip products came out from Buxom, I never ended up buying any because I was like, I don't think any of those colors are really gonna be what I like. But I remember wanting them because I was like, I just love things that are named after like coffee and things like that. I can't explain it. Anyone else? But okay, move on. So next favorite is from L'Oreal. This is their Shake and Glow Dew Mist. You do have to shake it up because there is some separation of like the oil and whatever in the world is in this. But you can do it as like a primer step, which I've done quite a few times. You can do it as a just on your face and walk around because it's nice. It's not like shimmery or anything like that, but it's nice. This mister is killer. Today I used it actually as a setting spray because I'd used a lot of that. I can't pretend I didn't just swallow a lot of that. But it really does have a natural finish. Like, I'm spraying a ton on and it's there, but it's not so much, like it's not as much as like the MAC Fix Plus. I love that stuff, but it definitely, I don't know, like it transforms things on your face. This does it in a very light way. This you could spray all over your face and it will look beautiful, but it never looks greasy unless maybe if you have like super oily skin. And the packaging, I'm like, yes, L'Oreal, that is so cute. Let's talk about my very Marianne favorites to you. This one will come as no surprise if you saw this video. This Almay Smart Shade Skin Tone Matching. I used this again after that video. I just don't like it, you guys. And I know there were some of you guys that said, man, I used the old version years ago and I actually really liked it. So I don't know if they've changed it. Obviously they made a couple more shades, but it really ended up kind of oxidizing and looking orange on my skin. And this is the lightest shade. Not only did it look slightly orange and like you could see a ring, so I would have to keep blending and blending and blending, and it just didn't work for me. Not only that, but it made my skin look dry and gross. So it was like, well, it's not really covering much. It's not a good shade match. And it's not really like moisturizing and conditioning my skin and making it look nice. So it was like 3 strikes, you are out. Ooh, I have no desire to use that anymore, but I'm glad I tried it for the sake of science. So next one is, and I think some people will like this, but I personally didn't. It's the Wet n Wild Jelly Balm. This is kind of this creepy, like blackish, grayish, yellowish balm, but when you put it on, it goes on clear, and then over time, it starts to turn pink. So nothing wrong with that. I like products like this, but what I mentioned in that Wet n Wild video, link below, shameless plug, if you want to see it, I put that on early on in the look, and then I continued to get ready, and it got so pink. How pink was it? It was so pink that it looked ridiculous on my skin. Like, again, I mentioned in that if I want a bright pink look, I'm gonna use like a lip gloss or a lipstick and like make sure it looks nice and even. But because this is just a lip balm, it just looked kind of like messy and like Kool-Aid-y, but not in a cute way. So that's one that, again, I have no desire to put on, and it's stained. I could not get it off. It's already stained my hand and I already wiped that off. There's like a little pink. So that's one that, yeah, that one can go. I have a lot of clothing favorites. Like I got this, which has these cute like little puffy sleeves at Target. It's kind of cropped, so I have like leggings. I got so much cute stuff at Target, you guys. They have like the cutest everything out right now. I got like a new purse, a new book bag, tons of new shirts, dresses, shoes, flats, like really cute flats for spring and summer. So I will link my Target video where I showed everything I bought. Like I kind of bring you guys along shopping for like 5 minutes and in the dressing room showing you the clothes. And then I sit here and I show you everything I got. And there's so much, you guys, that is so cute right now. So definitely check that out if you're curious, because that's like another favorite. I haven't been to Target in a little while, and it was really exciting to see all the new stuff they had. Okay, honorable mention, the Wet n Wild sponge. I used it today again, and it is really good. It can't be a favorite yet because I haven't used it enough, but this is nice, and it's like $5. Get the pink one though. I know they have an orange one and I haven't tried that, but I know the pink one is really good. Okay, so I'm all caught up on A Million Little Things. If you guys watch that or don't watch that. I also watch This Is Us. They're very different shows. A lot of people ask like, are they the same? I'm like, no, they're both really good, but they're very different. This Is Us is way more focused on family, and Million Little Things is way more focused on friends. But they both deal with very big life issues, and they're both really well done. And the soundtracks to both are killer, and I think A Million Little Things' soundtrack is even better. It's a lot of, it's just good. So I have like been listening to the soundtrack of that on repeat. Let me see if I can name like some of my favorite songs on that. I use Apple Music. I used to use Spotify, but I use Apple Music now. And so like you can follow the playlist just like you do on Spotify. And so I've been following that playlist, and they keep it updated, which is awesome. But they have some like Dashboard Confessional, which was like my favorite band in high school. Oh my gosh, I loved that band. But they also have like The Killers and James Bay, David Bowie, James Vincent McMorrow, George Ezra. Like it's such a good combo of, and then they have like Macklemore, Bare Naked Ladies, like Florence and the Machine. It's a really good mix of stuff. So love that soundtrack. That one I just play all the time on shuffle because it's so good. I am currently reading the book The Paris Wife, and it reminds me a lot. It's about Ernest Hemingway's wife. And, you know, obviously a lot of it is based on fact, and then I'm sure some is fabricated because it is a novel. But it's, you know, about them moving and living in Paris and like their friends they knew and just kind of how life goes. I'm only about 35% of the way through it. It's good. I'm enjoying reading it, but it is not a book that I can't put down. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I'll read some more tonight. So I'm not dying to read it. I think part of it is that I already read a book very similar to it called Z, which is about Zelda Fitzgerald, who is married to F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is all like the 20s, like the Gertrude Stein era. I have a weird love for that time period and like what their lives were like. So it is interesting to read, but because I've read a book very similar to it within like the past year, I'm not like dying to read it. So I'm going to finish it just because I'm going to finish it. And I'm wondering, like, did The Paris Wife come out first or Z? I feel like they came out around the same time. Anyway, but that is what I'm reading currently. I do want to read the new book. I read Girl Wash Your Face, which I really, really liked. I think I mentioned in another video, she is a Christian and she does bring Christianity into that. If that's going to bother you, then you're not going to like the book. It is kind of odd that she doesn't present it that way. I thought that was a little bit interesting that, you know, the book you're reading and it's kind of about living your best life and moving on from, you know, she had some trauma in her life. But it's kind of weird. She just started throwing it at you in the book and you're like, whoa. Now, I happen to be a Christian, so I didn't mind it. But I thought, you know, if I wasn't this religion, that would have kind of not rubbed me the wrong way, but kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So it was just interesting. But I personally liked it. There's a lot of good, there's just a lot of good in there to read, regardless of whether you're Christian or not. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, I will link any of those books I mentioned down below. I'm sure they're on Amazon. I'm pretty sure I bought a lot of them on Amazon, like for my Kindle and stuff like that. But okay, I'll shut up. This video got way too long, way too fast. If you're interested in those Maelove products, like I said, I will mention them below. Thank you for sponsoring that part of the video because I love that company. I love what they stand for. And yeah, so awesome. It's a win-win. So I hope that you will come say hi to me on social media. It is JamBeauty89 everywhere. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking along. Thanks for dealing with the puggy snores in the corner and that little sun patch.